say the definition of pollution. Okay? That is the presence or introduction into the environment of a substance which has harmful effects. That's it. You know, that is the definition of pollution. But there are different types of pollution. We've talked a lot about air pollution. Does anybody know any other types of pollution? Hands up. Okay. Noise, yes. Light, yes, correct. Anything else?
Water.
Yeah, heat, noise, soil, water.
Aeroplanes, helicopters.
Yeah, noise again. Okay, so it affects us in all different ways. So everything is sort of integrated. So it isn't just the air, it's what we do with our rubbish. It's how we move around. It's how we think about moving around. And we've talked a lot about movement with cycles or walking. But I had a sciatic and a bursitis in my hip, and I suddenly realised that we're all getting older and we're all getting more problems with walking and mobility. So what are they going to do about us? How are they going to help us with going to the difference in the different areas for our clinical services? Because they're becoming in different directions. They're sending us around the town instead of to the same hospital. So transport for the elderly is something that we must all lobby through your group. Now I'm going to take it further and I'm going to start applying it to breathing. And as you hear, I'm struggling a bit today with my breathing. One of the causes, other than air pollution, can be using a spray. Inhalers are curious, things to cure you. But I mean, lower birth rate has been proven to cause asthma in the children later. I was at a conference 2 days ago, and that was what came out there. There's all types of lung diseases. There's aspergillus, bronchiectasis, sarcoidosis. The people who were involved in the 9/11 aftermath, the builders and the firemen, they've got a high percentage of sarcoid now with them. So that's showing how these different environmental things affect us. It's also talking about, our housing. We have people here involved in housing, trying to improve the housing. And due respect, that's really, really vital because it's all in our environment. So we have all these conditions, okay, or we don't have these conditions, and hopefully we realise that if we were involved in, say, Grenfell and we had smoke inhalation, it's not going to hit us straight away, but we've got to keep an eye out and keep a check on our breathing. If our breathing changes, you go to your GP. And then we come to trying to get properly diagnosed. Your GPs now are taking over much of the primary care for respiratory. That's their new role now. It's within the GP practice. That's what they're moving our clinical service to. So it's really important that if you're not sure about your GP diagnosis, that you get it followed up, that you get blood tested, that you get a complete checkout with your breathing. Because once you get your medication properly diagnosed in effect, what happens is, I've been on meds now for about 10 years. Now, what happens is you're diagnosed and your life expectancy with your disease is like that. It goes like that on a graph, quite quick. But with the meds, your life expectancy can go all the way and you'll probably die with something else. But what happens is, during that period of time, you get what's called exacerbations, where you can't breathe, where you have difficulty. It can be caused by a cold, it can be caused by walking down Oxford Street, it can be caused by lots of different things, a virus or a bacterial infection. Do you take antibiotics? You shouldn't if it's a virus. You don't need antibiotics for a virus. You know, there's lots of different impacts that go on from there. So your lifespan then goes little drop. You've had an exacerbation. Oops, you've had a cold. But you're still, if you take the right medication and you keep exercising and you become understanding some tricks. All right, now here's a trick which I was taught by Booty Yaker, and I have to put down the thing. This is something you can do. If you're out of breath and you've got a lung condition, you're standing at a bus stop, you're having trouble, you put your arms behind your back. That opens up the upper airwaves. Something so simple can make the difference between you feeling really wobbly or managing. Another trick, if it's not just because it's hot, is to use a fan. I tried it on someone who had long hair. It promptly got twisted all in their hair. It didn't do much good. But there's a little nerve on the side of your face. And for some reason, the brain thinks that you've got more oxygen than you have. And your breathing gets easier. So there's lots of different things and ways of understanding your mind, joining a support group, self-management, different ideas, different supports, meditation, Tai Chi, exercise, but again in the right environment, not walking down Oxford Street, for example. Now, another thing, what can we do as individuals? I'm going to be quite brief, and then I'm going to ask if anyone has questions, all right? My name's Tess Jelen. I run a Breathe Easy group for Westminster. We're a subsidiary of British Lung Foundation. We're patient-led, we're patient-funded. Our kitty has got about 3K in it, but I keep going because I have, where's he gone? There he is. Because I have free accommodation. Okay, that allows me to keep the group going. I do outings, we do a talk every month. I'm actually booked up until July next year with people coming to give talks about medication, about different things. And I know Frank Kelly, very appreciative. I phoned him actually at 7 o'clock in the morning once about something, and he was very responsive. So, Frank, keep going. I am concerned about transport. I suggest you all find a local Breathe Easy group. I suggest you encourage others to stop smoking. Now, exercise is vital. Absolutely, I can't say enough about exercise. And I'm really naughty. I go from home to meeting to home. I don't do long walks. I'm really, really bad. And I know it. And when I lost my hip, it was frightening. I've never been so scared in my life of using my mobility. It is really, really, really scary. And you feel so vulnerable. I mean, if you were in an animal kingdom, you wouldn't, nobody would fear you because you're weak and, feeble. So it's quite a thing for us to keep our spirits up and to keep finding ways to keep going. Enough about that. I've got two things to say to you. One is you can recycle, if you're on meds, your puffers. Who takes it? Who is on puffer or steroids or some sort of treatment for their breathing? Anyone here? We've got 1, 2, 3. We've got a few. What do you do with your plastic puffers? What do you do with them when you've used them? When you put them in the dustbin. You see, that is not what you should be doing. You should be taking them back to the pharmacy, which is absolutely right. Because GSK has got a website, which I've got a table over there with some, membership forms and all sorts of stuff there, so you can talk to me more about what we do. So yes, I've got a link for you to find out your local pharmacy that will recycle your puffer. The other thing is, I don't know if any of you remember remember these little things? These little things here? No? Anyway, this was put out by Nicky Aitken, which was to do with car idling. Right? And the thing is that you're supposed to actually, if somebody won't turn off their engine, if they're sitting in the car because they're cold or they want to charge up their computer or they're doing something, that exhaust pipe from that idling car is worse than the driving car. So this was a way you can go. So I have great fun. I go up to people and say, excuse me, would you mind? And some people are a little bit, but when I explain to them politely that it's causing a lot, most people will turn off their engine. If they are a business van working for the council or then you report them to their company. And the company should be educating these people because that all adds to pollution. So there are different things you can do. There is a natural fact, a website on the Westminster where you can report. You put down the person's number, car reg, but I don't know what happens after that, but that's fun. Anyway, any questions now? I'll be at the table at the end, so if anybody wants to talk, yes.
Teresa, I'd like to say to you, really, with people...
Can you say who you are, please?
I'm Mary Woods, and I'd like to say, because my husband died of COPD, I'd like to say to you that when somebody is getting difficulty with breathing, whatever the case may be, like you've just said, get to your doctor. Because if it's at your doctor's place now, right, he knows what to do, and he probably should explain to you how important it is, your lungs, etc., etc.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary.